Welcome back to another video about the 3D balloon powered car. In this video I'm going to just show you a few things to consider as you're finishing your customizations, as you're cleaning up your car. um, First of all, we notice that we have the holes in the wheel axles for the nail to go through, but yet we do not have holes in the axles themselves for that nail. So we're going to need to do that, and we'll do that in this video. Also, I was thinking that as if I were to print this car and then try to attach that balloon to this column, that it's actually going to be rather difficult to attach it in the back. Okay, so this airfoil, as cool as it looks, could actually serve to kind of hamper the performance, or at least the how easy it is to attach that balloon. So in reality, I think I'm just going to delete that. Or some of you may decide to, well, if you group it together, there could be a way to extend that, out the rear of the car, just basically giving yourself more room to attach the balloon. So that actually wouldn't look that bad. In fact, that could look quite cool, especially if you could, you could rotate something like that on your car and have it further out the back. So that's a possibility. But do consider that you may want to have more weight near the front of your car. There already appears to be quite a bit of weight at the back already. With that said, in the next video we're actually going to make a driver that will sit right here. So that will add just a little bit of weight to the front of the car, which would be kind of helpful. Another thing that you could do to add weight to the car, the front, would be to make the front wheels bigger, larger diameter than the rear wheels. But if you were to do that, you would need to raise the axle. So raise the wheels this up off the ground a little bit, because otherwise your car would be tilted backwards, which maybe that would be a neat thing to do as well. But for now, I'm just going to delete this tail fin and leave it alone. Okay, let's make the holes for the axles. To do that, I need this hole here. I need to figure out what diameter that little teeny tiny hole is. Okay, so I first need to ungroup one of these so that I can get that hole. Okay, Control C, Control V to copy and just put it over here. Now immediately I'm just going to regroup those wheels so that they're back to normal. Okay, so this is the hole going through the wheel. Now, you can tell how big it is if you zoom in. 0.094. Okay. Now, this hole, the wheel should be spinning freely, okay? And the nail head, pretend like I'm going to pull out another axle, but I'll make it a different color just to prove my point here. Make this much thinner, as if it's a nail head. Bring it up. I should have made a plane. There we go. Okay. So pretend that this is the head of the nail, and I'm going to change in my grid. The head of nail cannot, it has to be wider than that hole. So if this was a nail going through the hole, and the nail needs to be more narrow than this hole too, to allow the wheel to spin freely, to reduce friction. Okay, if the nail was the exact same size as the hole, the wheels would not spin. Okay. However, in the side of the plastic car, you want the nail to stick, to hold. So this hole does need to be smaller than the hole going through the wheel axles. Okay, so this is easy to do. You just change your grid. I'm at 1/64. I could have just gone to 1/32. And I'm going to make this hole more narrow, like that. Okay, so when we hammer in, when we tap in or tack in a nail into the plastic, it's going to stick. Okay, so that's going to be something that we will need to practice on. So I will print a practice car, and I will give you these measurements prior to you printing your car, so that you can make last minute adjustments, because we could also just stick glue into the hole and that would hold the nails, but it would be better if this hole was more narrow. Okay, so there we go. We have our little hole. This is smaller than this. I'm going to delete the nail head. Now we just need to put this cylinder into the axle horizontally. Okay, easy to do. Hold the shift key down to rotate, in 45-degree angles. And we want to center align this. Now, here's the deal. You could, ungroup the car, select this piece, go through that whole rigmarole. However, with the grid, with the snaps on, I feel fairly confident that this hole is close to center, and we don't really need to, spend a lot of time, you know, making sure that it's centered. An easier way to do it would be to simply pull out a box rather than ungrouping everything. Pull out a box. Make the box the same width as that cylinder. Okay. This is going to be our construction line. Interesting. Notice how that is not lined up. So I could like, yeah, we still need to play with the grid some more. But you want to make it just perfect. There we go. That's pretty close. Okay. And then you select the temporary construction box and your hole. Go to align and center. Boom. Now it's centered. But really it didn't move all that much. I was close anyway. So then I'm just going to, delete my construction box. And I know that this hole is pretty centered onto there. But we didn't need to do that again. Okay. So I'm going to make the grid back to 1/16 or 1/8. And nope, I don't want to do that because it just moved. Now, this hole could literally go all the way through, and that's fine, the car. Because, I say that because, remember that this hub, this axle, this rounded column goes all the way through the car, and you can see it right there. Okay, so that when the air comes out of the balloon and flows through the car, okay, the air is not going to escape through this hole. So I think I'm fairly confident, I'm fairly sure that I can literally just extend this column all the way through my car. Okay? So that actually saves a lot of work because all you need to do is just drag this all the way through the car. Let me grab it. It's kind of hard to do when it's this thin. Just like that. Okay? Yay! Perfect. There's one hole. I'm going to Control C, Control V, put that at the front of the car. We'll try to line this in a, Control Z. Boy, it sure is handy to have Control Z. Okay, I'll change the grid to 1/32. Maybe 1/64. I think that's pretty close. Again, I'm not going to be picky on that. Whenever you change the grid to make fine adjustments, I always immediately go back and change it again. Okay. And then all we have to do is, do you know what? Group these to the car and you'll be ready to go. So select those, select the car, group. Group the holes to the body, wait a second. Great. So now we have holes where the nails are going to go, and we're ready to go. One more thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple of these wheels just shorter. In fact, I think I'm going to do that on on both. Now, I'll leave one set of wheels a little bit. No, I think I am going to do those both. I think my wheels need to be more narrow. So you can always go back and make changes like that, but you need to make those decisions, those analyses prior to 3D printing your car. Okay, in the next video we will make the driver and we'll be done with it. Thanks for watching.